Someone told me long ago, there's a calm before the storm. I know it's been coming for some time. Well, that storm came last night. It came last night at 11:02 p.m. How dare you sneak up on me while I'm sleeping? Don't you know I go to bed early? So I got assigned 200 shares. Hey, the robot said, Bart, you bought 200 shares of Qualcomm, and I charged you $22,000, even though they're currently not worth that. Oh, boy. Okay, so Qualcomm currently trading at 103.40. I bought 200 shares at 110. Hey, that sounds like a good deal. It does. Reminds me of some of the shopping that Sparkle Barbie does. She never even looks at prices, like ever. Like, what kind of person can do such a thing to a guy like me? Speaking of, we weren't speaking of Creedence Clearwater Revival, but go ahead. Speaking of CCR, I saw them in Las Vegas in concert. I should say I didn't see them. I saw John Fogerty in concert 2016 was my brother Larry. That was his 50th birthday celebration. We were in Las Vegas for that. We saw John Fogerty in concert, and he was like, I think 117 years old at the time, and he rocked our faces off. It was fantastic. So here we are in the Qualcomm. The storm came and washed me downtown to Chinatown. I spent $22,000 on the Qualcomm, and I'm actually not overly upset about it. And I'm not protecting my ego, but I've got two superpowers. One is I never get bored, and two is I don't suffer from FOMO. FOMO is the fear of missing out. The reverse of that is if you get depantsed by Qualcomm and you pay 110 for a stock that's worth 103.42. That is the fear of missing out in reverse. I don't know, I may have made that up just now, but that's kind of how I feel about it. But Qualcomm is a fine institution. It's a very good company, and I'm fine taking it if it's force fed to me at $110 a share. But what are we going to do about it? That's the question I've had for myself. So if we go on over to here, I've created this little spreadsheet for us to follow along in the two positions that I have, because I did on April 18th, I sold two put contracts. Okay, so Qualcomm put is the type of trade we made, 110 strike price, and that was a collateral of $22,000 was coughed up for the two contracts that expired. Hey, that doesn't spell expiration. It kind of does. Expiration. 5-5, and we collected a premium of $292. And then on May 4th, the day before that expiration, we rolled it, roll P, roll hide. We rolled that put, kept the same strike price with the two contracts. We rolled it out to 512, collected another $100. Now, the guy snuck up on me last night while I was asleep, while I was sawing Z's, and he assigned me those 200 shares at $110. And so now we own them at an investment of $22,000, which is currently trading under 20,800, just under that, because that math would be $104 a share. So, but that's okay, because next what we're going to do is we're going to sell covered calls today. We're not going to wait for a green day because we want to catch some more of that time action, because time keeps on slipping into the future. Speaking of the future, we also have, and on April 28th, Qualcomm, we did a put credit spread, and we had a short leg of $109 strike, and a long leg we bought for 107, and we put up $600 in collateral, three contracts with an expiration of May 5th, and we collected $102 bills. Now we call this the training wheel, right? Because it's part of our wheel strategy for these option contracts that also happen to have a dividend component that can be collected as well. So with that put credit spread on May 4th, we said, this trade's going against us, but it's also on an asset that we do like, that we would own. And if we're going to own it, we may as well pick a stock that pays a dividend. So we sold to close the long leg, the 107 long leg, and what created a collateral event. So it added 32,100 to our collateral of that was already on the table of 600, 3 contracts. It had a May 5th expiration, but we sold to close those, right? And we pocketed $450 for doing so because they had value because Qualcomm was going downtown to Chinatown. So at the same time, right after that, because we pulled our safety net of that long leg out from under the short leg, we rolled those 3 put contracts with the $109 strike, which now we are at a total of $32,700 of our collateral for the 3 contracts. We rolled it out to today, which is May 12th, and we collected $207. So right now, we want to roll those again for another week or two, collect some more premium, and then up here in our 110 position, we're going to sell some covered calls on our 2 contracts, again, trying to collect premium, but also considering what the dividend could be for us. Okay, so this dividend, I don't know what's making my computer, the computer fan is rolling hard. Hopefully you don't hear that. It does remind me, I was running my real estate continuing education in the background. How are you getting an education when it's running in the background? You're not even paying attention. I don't know. That's a great question, but that's what I had to do. So every year I have to complete 12 hours of continuing education to renew my real estate broker license. So I've completed 1, 2, 3, 4 classes while they ran in the background, and you have to pass a quiz, an exam at the end of each class. And yeah, sure, maybe I used my robot Tammy to help me with a question or two, but I did pass all those. So now I can keep my license for another year. But let's shut down a couple of these just to see if that helps turn my computer's internal fan down on the MacBook Air. That is from like 2007. So looking at the big board, let's go to Intel. I'm sorry, let's go to Qualcomm. Let's go to Qualcomm and see where we're at. Okay, so it is blipped up just a hair. No, 103.60. It was at 103.74, now currently down to 103.63. Here's our average cost and the 200 shares that we collected last night at 11:02 p.m., $110 per. And I think I'm going to have to do something that doesn't make a lot of sense, and that is I'm going to sell covered calls under the average cost. And I know that's a gamble. I know it's a risk, but I think it might be a little bit of a calculated risk. But I want to be able to claw my way back into profitability on this asset. So if we go to sell call and we go out, let's do a little math. We'll go 7 days, 20 or 14 days and 21 days just to see where the math comes in. Because what I was looking at was the 107 strike, currently trading at under 104. We should be safe at a 107 strike. I mean, Qualcomm could bounce up to the moon, but that would be okay. We would just roll out of it before those shares were grabbed from our grubby little hands. But if we do the 107 7 days out, that's 41 cents on the 110, right? Divided by the number of days, 7 days. And then if we annualized it at 365, that's 19.4%. Let me write that down. So on the 7 day, that's 19.4% at the 107 strike. If we go out 14 days at the same strike price, okay, the 107, that's 98 cents. So 98 divided by 110, right? Divided by the number of days, we've increased it to 14, and then annualized 365. Now we've increased that annualized return to 23.2 on the 14 day. Let's look at one more week just to see what that math would be. And so the volatility would probably just be a few points different each way, with the biggest annualized typically going to be realizing the biggest amount of volatility. So this one has $1.28 divided by the 107. Okay, now we've gone out, we're 21 days out, so we divide it by 21, annualized 365. Now it drops back to the 20.7, and that's at the 21 days. So in order of return, 14 days would be our number one pick to click. 21 days would be number 2, and then 7 days would be number 3. So let's do the 14 days out. Okay, and now that's still going to be prior to X dividend date. So we want to protect that, because now that I have the shares, I want to keep them through this next dividend payout, which is going to be locked in on May 31st. So we're going to have to manage this trade throughout, keeping an eye on it, but it shouldn't be too troubling unless the market does something crazy, which I don't anticipate it's going to do prior to our expiration date of May 26th, because the Fed don't meet again until June. So when they come out with their, did we already lose some dollar bills on that? On the 107? Let's go back to the math. 99 divided by 10. No, wait. I know what. I'm doing the wrong math. I did the right math on the first one. Oh, why do I even watch these videos, Bart? You're always doing this. All right. I think we have to use the 110 on the math, right? It can't be the 107 because we're invested at 110. So let's start over. Oh, great. Just edit it. No, thanks. I don't edit these videos. I just put them out in real time. Okay. I may have done that first math correct. So 41 divided by 110 divided by 7 days multiplied by 365. Oh, boy. Edit. Now I'm just going to erase the video and start over. So we got 41 cents, right? Divided by 110 equals this. Divided by the 7 days multiplied by the 365. That is, okay, so we did the first math right, because there's our 19.4. I think I messed up, though, on the weeks 2 and 3. So 14 days out, we got a 99-cent credit divided by 110. That's the number to use here. Divided by the 14 days multiplied by the 365. 23.4. Maybe I did the right math. That's actually higher than the 23.2 that I wrote down, because maybe Qualcomm keeps going downtown to Chinatown. All right, so let's go to the next one. It's $1.30, right? So $1.30. I'm really hoping you can't hear my computer humming away. It's making me nervous. So there's this divided by the 21 days multiplied by the 365 equals 20.5. Okay, so maybe I did the right math. I don't know. You'll tell me, because you're the one watching the video. I almost never watch them back because it's hard. I have a hard time listening to my own voice. That's not true. You love your own voice. Yeah, I've got a face for radio and a voice for print. That's how much I love it. So let's go to the 14 days. That still comes in at our number one pick to click. We got 2 contracts to sell, right? We got 2 contracts. Looks like we're going to be able to collect maybe $1. What do you think? Maybe a dollar bill. That would be a nice even $200. That'd be fun. Covered call. Expiration May 26th. It has enough action to be covered. So there's $200 at the 107, okay, with a 526 expiration. So let's put that into our spreadsheet right here and right now. So today is 5/12, and now we are doing a call at the 107 strike. 2 contracts with a 526 expiration, and we collected an even $200. All right, now let's go on to, if we can still roll our 109, right? That's what we want to do. Let's roll the 109 and see what we can collect today. So there's our 109, 3 contracts expiring today. If we did nothing, those would be our shares at 109. Let's check the math on rolling these puts and find out what we can do, because we've got 109 on the table 3 times right now. If we roll this position, okay, 7 days out, if we rolled it at the same strike is what we'd be looking at, because we got to cover this debit right here of 538. So if we clicked into that, that would give us a credit of $24 bills, right? So $24, but it's on 3 contracts. So we've got 300 shares. So the math is still 109, but the credit is 8, 9, 10. Net credit right there, 10. So 10 is the credit. 10 is the credit divided by the 109, right? Divided by the 7 days, multiplied by the 365. So that's a 4.7% return for the 7 day. Okay, let's go to the 14 day. 14 a days right here. That's the 26th. Wait, do we need to pull that out? Sorry. Go back. Get rid of that. Go to the 14 day. So that'd be the May 26th. We look at covering, we want to cover this and make money, right? We want to cover that debit. So if we click through the 109, now we'd be at a net credit of 35 cents. Okay, so that math tells me this is a better number as far as our return. So 0.35 divided by the 109, okay, divided by the 14 days that we're at. Let's scoot this over to show the 14 days right here. So divided by the 14 days, multiplied by the annualized 365. Now we're at 8.3%, okay, for 14 days. Now let's go out in the 21 days and see if that number improves. Because again, this is before the ex-dividend date. So just right off the top of my head, that would be the date I would pick if I still wanted, if I had interest in those 300 shares so that I can beat that ex-dividend date of May 31st. So I can grab those shares, own them, lock in my dividend, and then move on with the rest of my life, hopefully pocketing as many dollar bills as possible. So now let's go at the 21 days. Now, this would blow us out as far as collecting that dividend, but it also might protect us from carrying the bags on this son of a gun Qualcomm. So let's look at, we'd have a $1.25 credit at the 21 days. So $1.25. Wait, where's my abacus? It's right here. $1.25 divided by 109 equals this, divided by the 21 days, multiplied by the 365. And now we're at a really nice 19.8% return. And you never have to hold the bags at that number, right? 21 days. I want to check the math one more time. $1.23 divided by the 109 divided by the 21 days times 365, 19.6%. So, I know what Brian would say, roll that 21 days, collect the 19.8% annualized, don't worry about the dividend, and then wear out the put side. And I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to do that, Brian. What do you think? And then we'll just compare and contrast between the two different plays, getting assigned and trying to wear out that put and rolling while adding divvies. Now, this one has the huge leveraged advantage of starting as a training wheel. So collecting that 450 is like, that's going to put a big time return number on this. So let's look at rolling this 21 days out and see if we can get that thing filled, or what kind of number we're going to fill it at, because it's a pretty big pretty wide. Let's go 120, medium 121. When do I hear 122, 23, 24? We get filled at 100 or $1.24 per, which is $124 bills on rolling out the put 3 weeks. Now, it has that big spread, so it may not fill right away. And I'd like to fill it. I want to get it filled so I can move on and have my first meal of the day, checking on my cubbies. So it's probably still on the pending board. Let's look. It is probably still up there. It is. Let's try to fill it now. Replace that order. Go back to the 21 days, June 2nd. And the 109 does have a little bit less on the action on the top there. Let's see what we have to do to get it filled right now. Let's just go at the 120. Cash secured put roll 120. Okay, there it is. So we collected $360, right? So 109 times 3 is what? 109 times 300 is, wait, 109 times 300 is 32,700. So $32,700 collateral, right? We collected $360 divided by 32,700, and it's over a 21-day period, which is annualized to 19.1%. I will take that annualized every day of the week, and drum roll please, twice on Sunday. So there we have it. Two different trades. Let's put our 360 in here. So on 5/12, we rolled side of that, still at the 109. Now we've got the same collateral, right? Because we're still at the 109. So we still have the 32,700 collateral. We've got a 6/2 expiration, and we added another $360 to our pocket. So we're already at $1,119 of premium collection so far in this 2 weeks that we've been working on this. So that's pretty nice. And then over here we own the shares. We're going to be looking to collect dividends along with premiums, but we're only at $592 currently on the premium collection. So there we have it. Hopefully you remained through the video, through all the nonsensical calculator and abacus mistakes, in order to come to the conclusion that there's still light at the end of this tunnel. Woo, woo. Is it a train? No, I hope it's not a train. I hope it is the theta train and the cash train and the premium train. Those are the trains we enjoy approaching and riding. So there we have it. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.